Breaking news: Ikwerre is Igbo by default, not by choice. Ikwerre people declares their stand. Following the emergence of Senator Azuta Mbata, an Ikwerre man from Rivers State as the President General of Ohanis Indigbo worldwide, a lot of controversies, claims and counterclaims of tribe and ethnicity have continued to rage on among Ikwerre people. Some of them have outrightly denied being Igbos and members of Ohanis Indigbo, while others fully accept and appreciate being Igbos. This interview gives more clarity to the stand of Ikwerre people as regards their Igbo ethnicity.
The Ohanese Constitution was very clear. The Ohanese Constitution identifies the Igbo enclaves in southern Nigeria. There's no talk about whether you agree that you are Igbo. If you are Igbo speaking, you are by default a member of Ohanese, whether you identify or not. And they have been rotating the presidency that way. It's not something that started on Friday. The constitution was not written on Friday, last Friday, when that election held. So the whole setup about the constitution, it's not up to those complaining. It's about if you're Igbo speaking, if your ancestry is Igbo, you are basically a member of Ohanese. So that's just because that point was made on Friday. The constitution was read. It's not a question of those in Enugu, Anambra, Abia, Imo, and their boy deciding that the rest who speak Igbo elsewhere are not Igbo. No, they have a right. It is their right to participate. If it is their turn to produce the president and they don't produce it, they don't produce candidates for that election, that's a totally different ballgame. But they produced someone. So is that a problem? That some people they say that they are not Igbos does not disqualify them from the pecs of their family.
So let me say something. First would be they have rights to participate. They also have that same right to dissociate themselves, right? Remember, like the right to association is an inalienable right of every group of people. You know, I believe the constitution of Nigeria is stronger than that of maybe Ohanese and Igbo. That's first one. Secondly would be, yes, technically they are Igbos ancestrally. That is what ideally that everyone that has an ancestry with Igbos ideally should be an Igbo. But the reality is that you see people who share similar names with you, either from the Niger Delta regions, and they tell you, I am not an Igbo person. And we've seen like some very renowned voices. And interestingly, when you look at the records of the two major guys that ran for the election, because what we see is, okay, one that foundationally has been pro-Igbo and has been known in the Ikwerre community to have created an enemy for himself, and I'm talking about Uche Okuku, for speaking out. Mbata, the last I checked, right? I couldn't see like anything about associating or speaking in favor of Igbo or speaking about the ancestry being connected to the Igbos. So that is number one. But on the other part, you now find an Okuku who perhaps is controversial, not loyal, no diplomatic leverage in terms of, you know, being in tandem or in good standing with the forces that be. Because when you get into a region, there are stakeholders. Governors are stakeholders. Elders are stakeholders. So it does appear that if we actually look at it beyond the fact that there were two controversial elections, beyond the fact that the Constitution provides that whichever state that is producing, the election should be held there. But looking at it also like holistically from a standpoint, a bigger standpoint, where you have like 4 governors coming in and at the end of the day, 3 staying to the end of the, you know, the whole process, that's a bit of endorsement. So this could be, for me, it could mean 2 things. It's either a greater political participation, which is very important because Ohanese is not just show. You talk about the political dimension, and that's so you need political actors as active players and stakeholders, right? So we cannot talk about not doing with our governor. So even if the governors say, come on, yes, you follow the process, but as stakeholders, right? You know, we reserve the right to say, oh, come on, I think this guy will represent us better. Then in that particular case, I will be among those that will advise Uche Okuku to find a way to work with the new president, right? You know, so since he has come down and said, come on, we're all Igbos, we want to do all this together, and in leadership, a tree cannot make a forest. So I'm sure that even if he has any plan, maybe to smite the Igbos or to divert the agenda for the Igbos, he have other very strong executives. I'm sure the governors also are pro-Igbos. And with that, we can be able to like set an agenda, that will favor the region. Because over the time, Ohanaeze regrettably, has not lived up to expectations. When you judge, place Ohanaeze at par with Arewa, and of course Oduduwa, right? We've not seen that vibrancy, right? We've not seen that viability. In fact, sometimes like you see like trivial issues, especially with the Isu Guzero faction. Perhaps this may make it the third faction now if Uchoguku actually goes ahead, because that guy is just there for the media and does Tinubu today and does whatever thing. It has just almost become like an arm to endorse things that there is that dissatisfaction in the southeast, right? So you just hear a voice saying on behalf of Igbo people, we're endorsing this, we are appreciating, we are congratulating Tinubu, we are doing all of this, and I really think that does not serve the interest of the region.
All right, so you talked about expectations. What do you think are the expectations of the Igbos on this new leadership of Ohanaeze? Because the times have changed.
Yes. So this first and foremost would be, I see that as Igbo Renaissance. It's really an interesting time to live, because that phrase that I took away from our elders, one name before the war, has always left that question as an Igbo stakeholder in my mind. When will the Igbos truly reunite, stand together as one voice? I mean, I've had like platforms where I had to take pride in the Elumelus of this world or Konjiwal, and somebody reminds me they are not Igbos. It's really, you understand, quite an offensive one, because they share Igbo names, they can speak Igbos. I mean, they're entrepreneurial like Igbos and, truly represent us. And then you tell someone else, if they are not Igbos, then who are they? And then you begin to hear some small names. So I want to tell like all those persons in the Niger Delta regions who want to become an empire overnight, is that it is better to be small part of something big than to be the whole part of something small. So identifying with a structure and building up, not just a structure that is new, it's not a new dimension. We've always been together before the Civil War, right? In a broker. So this could be like an opportunity to reunite as a region. Secondly, it's not that the governors are all coming into it. Now, I want to take that with a pinch of salt, because the most politically diverse geopolitical region is the Southeast, right? Where we have all of the major political parties owning one state, and in the case of APC, 2 states. So anybody now trying to say that in Southeast don't like APC, well, experimentally or empirically, we can forward that. Whichever way it happened, what we know at the moment is that APC have 2 states, Labour 1, PDP 1, ABGA 1. There's no politically diverse region like that, right? So the question will be, now the political dimension is coming into the socio-political reality. How will that all play out? Are people going to be partisan, or are people going to be regional in their negotiation? Is this going to be like an opportunity to harmonize the strength, irrespective of political parties, and form a common front to speak with one voice on the core major things that affect Igbo land? We want to see like core major things that affect our region. Ability to negotiate, speak with one voice. I mean, we can learn the models of Arewa, all right, and Oduduwa. I mean, everything is replicable, right? Find out where do you hear these voices.
Thanks for watching. Kindly share your opinion on the comments section. Subscribe to this channel for more stories.